What if the people around you weren't confusing at all? You just didn't have the right map. Imagine walking into a party and instantly knowing who's scanning the exits, who's already planning tomorrow's brunch, who will spark the deep conversation in the kitchen, and who's outside fixing the broken porch light just because it bothers them. Today, we're decoding all 16 personality types, plain English, zero fluff, so you can spot them in the wild, understand their strengths, and avoid the classic misunderstandings that ruin friendships, teams, and relationships. By the end, you'll know yourself better, read people faster, and make smarter choices about how to work, love, and lead. Before we jump in, here's the quick primer. These types come from 4 preference pairs: introversion versus extroversion, how you recharge, sensing versus intuition, how you take in information, thinking versus feeling, how you decide, and judging versus perceiving, how you like life organized. That gives us 16 combinations. None of them are the best. Each one brings a unique set of superpowers and blind spots. You'll probably recognize yourself first, then your best friend, then your ex. Be kind. We're all learning. Let's start with the quiet backbone of society, ISTJ. Think, reliable, precise, and duty-driven. The ISTJ remembers the rules, the procedures, and the lessons hard-won from experience. They're the friend who shows up early, reads the instructions, and keeps the group on track when everyone else gets distracted by shiny ideas. At work, ISTJs thrive wherever consistency and accuracy matter: finance, logistics, compliance, operations. Their blind spot? Innovation for innovation's sake. They're not anti-change, they just want proof it works. If you love an ISTJ, earn their trust with follow-through. If you are an ISTJ, your growth edge is learning to share the why behind your standards so people feel included, not policed. Meet the quiet healer of communities, ISFJ. Warm, observant, and insanely dependable, ISFJs remember birthdays, keep spare phone chargers, and notice when your voice sounded off, even on text. Their superpower is service with stability. They make homes and teams feel safe. In careers, they shine in healthcare, education, administration, and roles where details and care intersect. The trap? Overgiving until resentment builds. Boundaries aren't selfish for ISFJs, they're oxygen. If you love an ISFJ, notice their effort and protect their time. If you are one, practice saying, "I'd love to help, but I'm at capacity," and watch your energy soar. Now the enigmatic counselor, INFJ. Visionary, empathetic, and future-focused, INFJs see patterns in people like meteorologists read weather. They're the friend who says one sentence that rearranges your whole week. Career sweet spots include counseling, writing, strategy, design, and leadership that blends purpose and people. The blind spot? Idealism without pragmatism, expecting transformation on a timeline. INFJs need solitude to process and courage to be direct before problems grow roots. If you love an INFJ, meet them at depth and guard their quiet. If you are INFJ, translate your vision into small, testable steps so others can join your mission without drowning. Introducing the architect of systems, INTJ. Strategic, independent, and relentlessly improvement-driven, INTJs look at chaos and see blueprints. They optimize everything, from your Wi-Fi setup to global supply chains, because waste irritates them at a philosophical level. They thrive in research, tech, finance, consulting, and any arena where complex problems demand elegant solutions. The trap? Dismissing emotions as noise and explaining when empathy is required. If you love an INTJ, bring data and don't take bluntness personally. It's economy of words. If you are INTJ, remember people are not code. Ask one more human question than feels necessary. Here's the quiet tinkerer, ISTP. Cool under pressure, curious with their hands, and allergic to overtalking, ISTPs learn by doing. They're first to grab tools, troubleshoot a machine, or hotfix a bug 5 minutes before launch. They excel in engineering, emergency response, mechanics, cybersecurity, places where fast thinking meets real-world constraints. Blind spot? Long-term planning and emotional check-ins. If you love an ISTP, skip the monologue, show them the problem and let them solve it. If you are ISTP, set lightweight systems that keep you from living in permanent, last-minute mode. Now the artisan of vibes. ISFP. Gentle, present, and deeply aesthetic, ISFPs create beauty wherever they land: music, fashion, food plating, or simply the way sunlight hits a room. They're values-driven and allergic to fakery. Work they love includes design, healthcare, crafts, animal care, and roles with tangible impact and freedom. The trap? Avoiding conflict until connection frays. If you love an ISFP, don't rush their decisions or box them in. If you are ISFP, speak your needs early. Your honesty is art, too. Meet the idealistic storyteller, INFP. Values first, imaginative, and meaning-obsessed, INFPs see who people could become and write stories, literal or metaphorical, that carry us there. They thrive in writing, counseling, advocacy, indie projects, and any role that lets them align work with conscience. Blind spot? Decision inertia, waiting for the perfect answer while opportunities pass. If you love an INFP, respect their internal compass and give them time to process. If you are INFP, set deadlines for choices and trust that values can guide imperfect action. Here's the scientist-philosopher, INTP. Analytical, skeptical, and endlessly curious, INTPs dismantle ideas to understand the engine inside. They ask, why, until the fluff falls away, then rebuild better. They excel in research, programming, systems design, academia, and anywhere complexity begs for clarity. Trap? Living in theory while practical tasks wither. If you love an INTP, debate ideas, not identity, and help translate conclusions into action. If you are INTP, ship the prototype. Reality is a feedback loop you can't get from your head alone. Now for the kinetic spark plug, ESTP. Bold, hands-on, and situationally aware, ESTPs read a room in milliseconds and act before most people finish planning. They sell, negotiate, improvise, and make things happen when the stakes are real. Careers include sales, entrepreneurship, emergency services, athletics, and live events. Blind spot? Short-term thrill over long-term consequence. If you love an ESTP, keep adventures coming but speak clearly about boundaries. If you are ESTP, build habits that keep your future self grateful, not busy cleaning up past fun. Meet the show-stopping enthusiast, ESFP. Expressive, people-savvy, and generous with joy, ESFPs turn ordinary moments into stories worth telling. They're natural entertainers and welcoming hosts who notice who feels left out and fix it. They thrive in performance, hospitality, teaching, sales, and any role with human contact and creative expression. Trap? Avoiding hard conversations to keep the mood light. If you love an ESFP, affirm their spontaneity and be honest kindly. If you are ESFP, Practice staying at the table when things get serious. Your warmth makes tough truths easier to bear. Enter the possibility engine, ENFP. Big picture, values-driven, and contagiously enthusiastic, ENFPs spot connections between people and ideas no one else saw. They rally communities, start movements, and refuse lives that feel small. Careers span marketing, coaching, startups, writing, and social impact. Blind spot? Starting 10 things, finishing none. If you love an ENFP, protect their focus and celebrate progress, not just potential. If you are ENFP, prune projects like a garden, fewer vines, sweeter fruit. Now the quick-witted challenger, ENTP. Verbal agility, contrarian curiosity, and fearlessness in debate define ENTPs. They break assumptions for sport, but also for progress. They thrive in startups, product strategy, law, media, and any domain where new angles win. Trap? Provoking for entertainment and forgetting feelings in the crossfire. If you love an ENTP, enjoy the sparring but call timeouts when it stops being fun. If you are ENTP, aim your disruption at problems, not people, and build rituals that convert ideas into shipped outcomes. Here's the command and build executive, ESTJ. Organized, decisive, and results-focused, ESTJs create order where others see chaos. They set standards, enforce deadlines, and carry enormous loads without complaining. Careers include operations, management, law enforcement, project leadership, anywhere execution is king. Blind spot? Mistaking consensus for weakness and speed for effectiveness. If you love an ESTJ, be direct and deliver. If you are ESTJ, remember that buy-in today saves rework tomorrow. Ask for input early, you'll still finish fast. Meet the community conductor, ESFJ. Social, responsible, and attuned to group harmony, ESFJs build culture, at office potlucks, neighborhood events, and family group chats. They remember your dog's name and your preferred coffee. They excel in HR, teaching, hospitality, healthcare, and roles where logistics and care intersect. Trap? People-pleasing that hides their own needs. If you love an ESFJ, reciprocate effort and be specific with appreciation. If you are ESFJ, let "no" be a complete sentence sometimes. Authentic connection survives honest boundaries. Now the charismatic mentor, ENFJ. Vision plus heart, that's ENFJ. They see potential in people and organize the room to help it bloom. They're magnetic communicators who can move crowds and also sit quietly with a single hurting friend. Careers include leadership, coaching, education, media, and advocacy. Blind spot? Over responsibility, carrying everyone's progress until they collapse. If you love an ENFJ, encourage rest without guilt. If you are ENFJ, delegate early and remember, growth can't be forced, only invited. Finally, the decisive strategist, ENT. Commanding, future-focused, and allergic to inefficiency, ENTJs turn visions into systems that ship. They're natural leaders in business, law, tech, and any field where scale and impact matter. The trap? Pushing so hard the team burns out, then blaming weakness instead of the system. If you love an ENTJ, bring solutions and speak truth to power. They respect backbone. If you are ENTJ, measure not just outcomes but also sustainability. The best strategy is one people can live with. Here's a truth that cuts across all types. Your core preference isn't a prison. Introverts can command stages. Extroverts can guard their solitude. Sensors can innovate. Intuitives can love routine. Thinkers feel deeply. Feelers make savage, data-backed decisions. Judgers can be playful. Perceivers can be disciplined. Personality explains your default settings under stress and ease. It doesn't define your ceiling. The game is to know your wiring, then choose deliberately. Let's talk common friction points, because this is where people misread each other and relationships fail for no good reason. Extroverts aren't louder, they process externally. When an extrovert brainstorms in real time, the introvert may assume the decision is already made. Fix it by labeling your talk. Thinking out loud, nothing final. Introverts aren't aloof, they simply recharge alone. If you're dating one, schedule quiet time after social events. Watch the magic. Sensors and intuitives fight about detail versus meaning. Sensors want specifics, dates, budgets, constraints. Intuitives want patterns. Where is this headed? Both are right. Begin with the pattern, end with the plan. Thinkers and feelers collide over truth versus harmony. Thinkers ask, is this accurate? Feelers ask, is this respectful and fair? Great teams make space for both. Judgers and perceivers? This is deadlines versus options. Judgers crave closure, perceivers crave flexibility. Use flexible checkpoints, clear milestones with agreed upon wiggle room. If you're leading a team, build a portfolio of strengths. Pair an INTJ strategist with an ESFJ culture builder. Let an ENTP break an old model while an ISTJ safeguards compliance. Give the ENFP the rallying cry and the ESTJ the schedule. Put an ISFP on brand feel and an INTP on system logic. When a crisis hits, call the ISTP and ESTP first. When you need healing, tap the ISFJ and ENFJ. When you need a long horizon, ask the INFJ and ENTJ what they see. Don't ask one person to be every type. Ask every type to be fully themselves. In love, remember this: compatibility isn't about sharing letters, it's about honoring needs. If your partner is perceiving, surprises feel alive. If they're judging, surprises feel like chaos. If they're sensing, a clean car is romance. If they're intuitive, a long walk and big questions are foreplay. If they're thinking, directness is love. If they're feeling, tone is love. Extroverts want you in their world. Introverts want you in their quiet. Learn your partner's love logic, not just their love language. Growth happens when you stretch the opposite pole. Extroverts, schedule solitude and see your insights sharpen. Introverts, practice short, frequent check-ins. People can't read your mind. Sensors, once a week, ask, what pattern am I missing? Intuitives, once a week, ask, what fact am I ignoring? Thinkers, lead with empathy, then add analysis. Feelers, state your principle, then your preference. Judgers, protect rest like a deadline. Perceivers, pick one small routine to make your freedom sustainable. Here's a lightning speed recap of the essence of each type so it sticks. ISTJ, duty with receipts. ISFJ, care with memory. INFJ, insight with purpose. INTJ, strategy with standards. ISTP, calm under pressure. ISFP, beauty with heart. INFP, values with vision. INTP, logic without limits. ESTP, action in real time. ESFP, joy that includes. ENFP, possibility with people. ENTP, ideas that disrupt. ESTJ, systems that ship. ESFJ, community that functions. ENFJ, growth through guidance. ENT, scale with a spine. If you're still wondering, but what am I, notice where you felt seen and where you felt resistant. That mix is your clue. Don't stress about getting a perfect label on the first try. Explore both your top candidate and its neighbors, especially your shadow opposites. Sometimes the insight you crave hides behind the letters you've avoided. Here's your next step. Pick one strength you'll double down on this week and one blind spot you'll test gently. If you're an ENFP with a dozen projects, choose one to finish. If you're an ISTJ running on duty, ask for help once. If you're an ESTP chasing the next thrill, schedule a future you'll thank yourself for. If you're an INTP lost in theory, ship version 1. If you're an ESFJ caring for everyone, calendar your own rest. If you're an ENTJ driving the team, ask how the pace feels. Small moves, big returns. Personality isn't destiny, it's a dashboard. The lights tell you what's happening under the hood. You still drive. And the best journeys aren't solo. They're caravans of wildly different vehicles traveling in the same direction, learning from each other along the way. If this breakdown helped you finally get yourself, or that one person you could never figure out, stick around. I've got deep dives for each type, practical scripts for tricky conversations, and real-world examples for careers and dating. Drop your type in the comments, plus the one you always clash with, and I'll make a follow-up episode on how to bridge that gap. Subscribe if you want personality tools that actually help you live better, not just collect labels. And hey, no matter your 4 letters, thanks for bringing your flavor to the world.